Hello everyone, my name is Nathan and today it's time for another episode of Factorio in our 0 to Megabase playthrough. I was looking forward to this episode for weeks actually. Hopefully we will get to launch our first rocket today in the spirit of a Megabase and not just to complete the game. In preparation for this episode, I combined all of my oil resources. So now wherever I collect them, I also set up a piping system. This, for instance, goes all the way down and then it goes over until we finally arrive right here. This is going to be my permanent oil location. Now, even with my 3 deposits combined, we do not get a lot of oil. As you can see, it is only slowly creeping in, and that is not going to suffice. So we will have to tap into more oil resources, which we do have over here. You can see their combined yield is much greater in the beginning than over a certain period of time. And then at the same time, I also would like to hook up things like this copper ore deposit. So we'll have to snuggle the rails around a little bit, see how we can do that. I just want to tap into many more resources, especially stone, copper, iron, and potentially a little bit of coal. Now, in my eyes, having these deposits around is a little bit of a beauty mistake, but we will not be able to get completely rid of them without major interference. We can certainly tap into deposits like this one. I don't mind taking this apart. Let's maybe just make an example with the new resources over here that are not interfering with our base. So all we really have to do is continue our structures here. I want to make sure we take nature apart. We then go straight with the rails, and at this point we can go up. So more of that, more of nature taking apart, and more of rail intersections. By the way, in today's episode I will upload a couple of the blueprints, especially everything that has to do with the rails. You know, just a few things that I consider completed, just use them with a grain of salt because I tend to redesign these blueprints on a regular basis. The next one is going to be a straight rail again, so we can set this up right here. However, this is a vertical straight rail, which I always fill up with solar panels. So I'm going to get this prepared with an underground already, so I don't forget about it. And then we set up the rail straight solar. Let's put that right there. And just like that, we will have more power again. Now, even though this is a deposit I would like to tap into, I am still gonna build my normal structures. For instance, right here, we need an intersection, and then I'm gonna build as many miners around that as I can. Then I'm already gonna build the next square. This is gonna be an oil extraction site, obviously. Let's see if we can use the loading station here. Yeah, possibly. We just have to wiggle around some of the oil spots here. And then maybe we get rid of some of these rails, try to wiggle around. Gonna set up all the pump checks that I can already. Wow, this is actually a great deposit. Look at how many oil spots we have access to here. Amazing. Now all we have to do is wiggle around here and we're golden. This means we can now go ahead and set up the miners here. I'm gonna remove everything unnecessary and we begin with our miners right here. Wonderful. And just like that, we have also prepared this mining site. We will not mine quite everything, but enough. So the next step is to combine these guys. Combined everything to 4 lines. Now we want to set up a balancer, and we are gonna hook this guy up. Very easy setup for each mining site, just like that. And now I have to only wait for the robots to really do their thing. I'm also gonna already name this station. It's gonna be a load copper ore. And if we want to, we can now set up 2 additional trains, which we should. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna click into one of these guys. Which one? Yeah, this guy here is a copper train. I'm gonna copy the settings over. So now all I have to do is place the train, paste the settings, and here we go. Maybe a little bit of initial fuel, since at the deposits here, I don't necessarily want to fuel them up because they could be anywhere over the world. And I don't want my logistics robot to take the travel there. One train is ready to go. I'm already gonna activate it, and then we are gonna set up the second train as well. Make sure these guys snap, paste this. Wonderful. This is so easy to add additional trains once you already have them set up. I'm also gonna tap into this oil deposit, and then we're gonna pipe everything all the way down to my current station. I always forget where it is. It's over here, actually not far away. And yeah, just tapping into a bunch more resources. I'm gonna especially take care of the stone deposits. Unfortunately, they are always a little bit small, so gathering these items does take a while. but see ya in a bit when we have all the necessary resources to dive into the rocketry. Okay, I'm back and hooked up a couple of stone deposits as promised, but now I would like to continue with the next endeavor, which is going to be the rocket control unit, and we're still missing the speed module. Now, since we've already built a contraption for this, I think, yeah, let me just check the ratios. Is this more or less good? 92, just a tiny amount of overusage. I'm still going to fix that quickly. Man, by now the factory is really large, I have to say. It takes a long time to travel from one end to the other. But here we go, we have arrived. Let's maybe exchange these modules here at the bottom with efficiency modules. And then we're gonna measure that ratio again, see what that changed. So now we're slightly under. Gonna exchange the corners again with speed modules. That might just have fixed it. Wow, check this out. It's perfect now. This is great news because now we can go ahead, build the solar array. So we're just gonna build this on top of the construction, get all the solar panels in there that are possible. And now theoretically, I should be able to grab all of this if I do this carefully, and then we can copy it over for the other contraption. Let me see, I wanted to build it here, I believe. Okay, that's gonna be interesting. So if we line this up perfectly, then we can place it, but we will have to change the recipe inside of the assemblers. And of course, we will also have to change how the station is named. I'm gonna do that right away so the trains don't get confused. Nice. I just love the basic principle of using blueprints. It just makes it so much easier and hassle-free. I'm gonna place the station already, and then we're gonna rename this to load something else that we haven't set up yet, namely the speed module 1. Next up, we also want to change the recipes. There we go. We still keep the efficiency modules in there. And now I'm just going to remove all these machines so I can copy over the correct recipe. So you go there, there, there. Yeah, wonderful. This is much less work than building it over once again. Even if we build the different types of modules, the loading or unloading station here is still going to be the same for both advanced and normal circuits. So just like that, I believe we have everything set up. Only the trains are missing. But man, this was quick. If you already have something similar, it really goes quick. That theoretically means we should be able to already build the next thing. Do I want to tap into this iron ore deposit? Would be great. But we can still do it even if we have a loading station here. So this is going to be the next one, and I'm going to build, let me see, the rocket control units. So that's actually going to be fairly easy and straightforward. Let me wait here a couple more minutes until we have more of this built up, and then I'm going to meet you on the next building site. I set up one unit with a 12 beacon setup for the rocket control units, and some productivity modules inside the assemblers. Checking out the ratios, we can probably fill out the entirety of the city block without reaching the limits. So this is exactly what we're gonna do. We're gonna cut this out and we're gonna paste it in back at the bottom. Now I would like to make this as symmetrical as possible, so we're gonna build 4 units this way, and then I would like to flip it around so it is quite symmetrical, for a total of 8 units. We're then gonna go ahead and remove those roboports, and we should be able to copy this over. Everything should connect niftily. Wonderful. And then we just keep going. And there we go. That should be the last one. Even without the roboports, we can still reach a significant area with the worker robots. But I think until it is built, I want to add a couple more of these just every now and then. And this way I can make sure over time everything is going to be constructed even if I'm not here. Since we only really need 2 materials for this, I believe I'm going to combine them. So 1 line processing unit, 1 line speed modules, and they're gonna combine on this belt. We're gonna do the same thing on the other one here. And then we wanna split it up 8 times. It doesn't need to be a perfectly balanced split, but I believe what we could try is to go with a balancer setup. Why not? We could have one balancer facing this way, another one facing the other way. I'm just trying to find better designs for symmetry. You know, theoretically we could do something like this. This way we have the 4 balancers. Then we're gonna hop over one here. This one goes there. This one goes here. Yeah, this would probably be as symmetrical as it gets, to be honest. Let's now hook these up. One material on this side. This one goes right there. The last two, admittedly, not as convenient, but we can make it work. Now, if we're lucky, we can somewhat copy this over, just flip it around, and we have the same thing for the other side. Now, we only really need to get the other material to the secondary slot. Let's move this over, hop right there, and you will go into this slot. Second one will move into the same direction. We need to go, let's see, right there. That will actually also be fairly easy. Nice, okay, I like this design. Maybe I'm gonna apply this to the previous ones I've made if I feel like I'm running out of things to do or have to wait. Next one should also be fairly easy. I'm gonna get rid of that guy because that was just temporary and I need the space. And the last one has to go a little bit back to get to the final slot. Just gonna go ahead and actually mirror this on the other side. Connect you and go back, connect you. This is great. I really like this design. At first glance, it truly looks symmetrical. Now we only have to make sure we import those materials at the correct stations. We are combining the first two belts here. So this first station is going to be dedicated to processing unit and the second one for the speed module level 1. So that's going to be our first unloading station for this type, which naturally means we need to set up more trains. Said and done, also gave them some fuel. Off you go. Where am I? I don't want to get run over at this point. And now we can copy this to the other stations. Processing units for you, and then the speed modules for the top station. Already our second train with processing units. I just love it. Oh, hang on a second. This is not looking good. Let me check that out on the map. What is happening here? Ooh, of course. Looks like there are tons of belts missing, actually. Yeah, it's gonna take a while until we even get into the production here, so we don't have to wait for the modules. We just leave the robots to do their thing. Now, what was the next step? I believe rocket fuel. So we kind of need a dedicated station producing that. Intriguing. Let me think about that for a little while. Maybe we're just gonna build it here, and we'll see how it goes. Okay, we're back and I thought about the concept a little bit. What we have here is a machine that is supposedly going to produce enough materials to create some rocket fuel. Now what you see here is just one module that I intend to repeat over and over, at least a couple of times, but let's check it out. The petroleum I'm using up more than completely in order to create solid fuel. The same thing happens with the heavy oil. We are using it up completely to also create the solid fuel. Out of the 64 light oil I'm creating, I'm left with 16 units per second as a net rate. We also end up with 14 units of solid fuel, but if we check out the machine here, we actually require them at the same rate. So we have a little bit of light oil overproduction that might become a problem eventually. And this is why I have an addition of light oil to petroleum cracking. If you remember, we used up the petroleum completely or more than completely with a little bit of factory capacity left. So maybe from start to finish to visualize this, we have our inputs right here with water and oil. We get the petroleum as an output that I'm using up completely in these machines. The light oil goes over into these two machines producing a certain amount of solid fuel. And finally, the heavy oil goes all the way over to this machine being completely used up. I'm then storing each liquid in the individual tanks, so I'm able to observe what's actually happening with them. I have a pump right here. In case this tank fills up with the light oil, then I can use the light oil to create some more petroleum, which is then going back into the petroleum to solid fuel machines. All we have to do is maybe set up a little bit of logic. We want to make sure that as soon as this tank has a certain state, we want to activate the pump. So all I really have to do is maybe connect these three things together here. And then I can say to this pump, if we have, let me see, a certain amount of light oil, we're going to go with like 80,000 or so. And we also want to say greater than. So at the moment it is not pumping, but if we have too much light oil, it's going to be converted into petroleum. So now the last thing we have to do is to extract the solid fuel and combine it on a single line. And here we have our two outputs. One is going to be solid fuel and one is going to be the light oil. Alrighty, I think we're going to get there. At the moment, I'm trying to build a contraption using up one line that is going to serve this contraption here. So once I duplicate this, I can also duplicate that, and the ratios are still gonna be good. At the moment, we have a pretty good ratio. We are left with a tiny amount of light oil and use up more solid fuel than we have, but this is then gonna be counteracted by the machine at the bottom. On the other side, all of these beacons aren't placed just yet, so that is gonna change something. Maybe I'm gonna get rid of the modules for now, and then when everything is built, we can decide what we actually need. So I think at this point, I'm just grabbing a couple of materials and we're gonna build more beacons ourselves. I've been placing so many beacons recently, they're not coming in fast enough at this point. You know, one more thing I would like to do is grab everything and move it over a tiny bit. I need a little bit more space. Okay, let's now think about tiling this. I might have to remove some of this again. Yeah, hold the phone. This might actually be difficult to accomplish. Let's try to copy this over, see if we are successful. So we're gonna grab approximately this, and then we wanna paste it in like so. No, that does not really add up. Let me get rid of all the belts, and then the power poles need to go here. This is gonna be a problem, isn't it? You know what? We best solve this with substations. So all the power poles can go, and we just have a substation for each contraption. Okay, let's try this again. Can we make it fit now? You would go right there. No. Actually, hold on. Let me try that. Place. Okay, and it's just the pipe that is a problem here. But it's because that is an underground pipe and it should be a normal pipe. So now it's not a problem anymore. Great, okay, it is tileable now. We can build at least a third one, maybe even a fourth one. We should try that. So that's 1, 2, 3. Yes, I think we can do it. Great, now I only have to get the right ratio for the top portion here as well. Then we're gonna copy it over 3 more times and we should be golden. Alrighty, I think we're also done with this contraption. Wow, that's kind of a crazy one. If we check out the ratios, they are not quite perfect, but we're pretty much using up the heavy oil. That's good. Also the light oil with this scale, pretty good. We're using up more solid fuel than we can use, and we're using up more petroleum gas than we can use. That might play a role, but my suggestion is to get this contraption running, and then we can judge, depending on the level of the liquids inside the tanks, what we have to do next. So why not go ahead and actually do that? You get some water, you get some oil, and we can see the machinery in action. We're immediately getting some solid fuel going in the machines. We need 10 pieces per craft. So as soon as this gets going, yeah, look at that. We have more than enough solid fuel to just keep this going. Maybe here at the very end, we're gonna struggle just a tiny bit. These machines in the last row are not gonna be active all the time. We mainly want to prevent a clogging up situation, and I believe this way we achieved it. Rather have too many machines than too few. I also already named this station here. It's loading the rocket fuel. Great! With that out of the way, I believe we have everything ready for the satellites. No, we still have to do the radars. I'm gonna do that off camera. Shouldn't be too interesting. But then for the satellites, we'll have to make a special solution because it requires 6 materials instead of the 4 that I have prepared with my unloading stations. Pretty nifty. Let me make my way over here. I'm also gonna help my robots finish this build. And then after I'm ready with the radars, we can try to build the satellites. It's now also time to hook up our accumulator station to a train station. That is gonna happen right there. And we have to do the same thing with the solar panels. Actually, those are the solar panels. My bad. The accumulators are gonna be a little bit hard to get out because I'm already occupied here with coal and stone. So I wonder, couldn't we just take a loading station, at least temporarily, and then let's say we put it right here. We then split the accumulators at this point and make our way over. Let's actually go down here into the balancer, and then we can easily divide them up amongst the train station. And then all we have to do is kind of hook this up to the train network again. This is only gonna be temporary until we have mined everything. And then just hook up to this guy. Okay, that's gonna work. Just requires another signal here and we should be golden. Wonderful, and just like that we should have a temporary functional station. I'm actually hijacking this unloading point here. Still of course using my own splitter here so I can keep crafting the accumulators I require for the base. I'm now going to take care of the radars. This is going to happen right here. Just give me a brief moment and I'll be right back. Said and done, this is the structure for the radars. This is actually all that is required in order to use up 2 full belts of arm plates, and holy cow, they are gone. But yeah, I was able to fill the rest up with solar panels. I also had to take care of my power problem in general, so I just started to expand everywhere I could place solar panels. And my robots are still at it. However, all of the modules are done that you've seen me build here. You can see this is like crazy. If this starts working, we definitely run out of power. That is a problem I still have to address. By the way, the reason I'm not using nuclear power is because of the future lag that is going to cause in a mega base. A nuclear power plant is probably good for a middle-sized base. But yeah, I potentially want to keep on expanding and expanding here. The main thing is now we will get all of the science packs and we can actually dive back into the research. I'm here with my lonely rocket silo and I kind of was thinking about something. Let me just pick that up and we could get some unloading rails in here. Now we will have to heavily modify what we're doing here. Let me just get rid of that. And what we want to do is set up 2 unloading stations like so. And we have to modify how this looks here at the end because we want to just turn around if possible. So I'm not entirely sure how we're going to do this, but we're going to try to combine this first of all. Yes, build my minions, build! Now, hold on. What is the point for all of this? We want to build satellites. How long is this going to take? Just 5 seconds. So we only really need 1 machine for this. However, we also need to make sure the trains can actually turn around. So I think I'm gonna get rid of the center section here. And we're also gonna get rid of this first train station. Yeah, this can go. So as an exception, trains are gonna be allowed to do a 4-way intersection here. And of course we somehow have to reflect that with our signaling. But that should be an easy adaptation. Yeah, actually this already looks alright. And now they can use this rail in order to turn into any of these stations, which is wonderful. We can then have our rocket silo in the center and we're gonna need, what do we need? An assembly machine. Where's this made? Yeah, in a freaking normal assembler. Man, how do I even feed the 6 materials? I guess we're back to long-handed inserters with this one. Well, let's start importing the materials. We're gonna need some processing units first of all. Unload processing units and 1 should be on its way. Actually, is this already built here? Yeah, theoretically this should be accessible unless, yeah, they might not be full. Okay, I'm mainly lacking the advanced circuits at this point. Might have to duplicate the module to get more decent results. The next station is gonna be low density structures, which I believe we haven't set up yet. Never mind, we already have 2 trains with that on their merry way. Next up we have rocket fuel that I'm gonna place in here as well. Unload rocket fuel, do that, and there is no train for that just yet. So this is where we are gonna come in and build it. 1 train on its merry way, and we wanna copy this guy over. Wonderful. Give you some fuel, and that is another resource taken care of. Next up we need solar panels, accumulators and radars. This is what we are gonna do on the other side. Give me just a brief moment, starting with the solar panels. Okay, nice. Just like that we have access to all the materials. Is this still on its merry way? Let's see what this is doing. Yeah, I'm afraid we might not see it quite in action today actually. It's a little bit of a shame, but I need more red circuit stuff. Losing overview. Ah, there we go. Red circuits. Are you crafting like crazy? Full capacity? Yeah, this is actually looking fairly good. Man, power. Power is an issue. But my point is we need to copy this over, the red circuits. It's time to multiply this. And I think I might just set it up here. Yeah, that's probably good. Gonna finish this with some nice flooring and we can just let the robots do their thing here. In the meantime, we want to ship in the various materials. Let's do it like so. Then the low density structures can go, come on, like so. We're gonna bring 2 types of items on either side of the rocket silo. Oh, actually we need to bring this to the assembling machine. So we rather do something like this with inserters like so and so. And then probably 2 more inserters on either side here. You come in like so, you come in like so, and you come in like so. Yeah, nice. And here we go, we are almost starting to craft. Absolute insanity. Oh, before we actually do that, we need to fill this up with a productivity. Oh, that doesn't work. Well, then efficiency it's gonna be because, yeah, 5 seconds, that is a pretty quick craft time. We then extract the material out of there and bring it all the way down to our rocket silo. We also need the low density structures and the rocket fuel. So let me see. We can probably split these up and bring them over. So let's add that right here. And the rocket fuel is going to be added there with a bunch of inserters. Yeah, looking good. Oh, no. Productivity module. That's what we want to have here. That's for sure. Also, auto launch with cargo. I'm going to disable that for the time being. But I'm assuming that just means it will not launch without a satellite. The last thing we have to input are the rocket control units. That could be an issue because now I used up all my stations. You know what? I have an idea. We're gonna set up a loading station here instead. Let me just get this right there. Get 1 loading station in here. That should be good. We're gonna be using that station to load the white science packs. So that's what we're gonna specify here, but we're also gonna use it to unload another material. Let me just quickly copy something over, an example where we already have this going on. You know what? I think at this point I'm better off just dragging another rail myself. So if we do something like that, it's gonna be fairly easy. And then this new station is going to be responsible to unload the rocket control units, which is the last thing I require. Gonna copy over one of these constructions. We want to extract the materials from the train. So here they come, I guess. And then, well, we just move over to the rocket silo via road here. And once it arrives, we are also gonna import it using inserters. Yeah, okay. Where are they? I probably don't have trains yet. Ooh, I just made it across the rails. Fortunately, the rocket control units have arrived. This is absolutely wonderful news. Just check this out. Oh, actually, this is not quite working out here. And there it is, the silo working on it. Now, this is not quick enough. Apparently, we cannot be using up the materials this way. So my assumption is we're gonna need a certain amount of rocket silos, which is why we can probably not have it here. But I just wanted this freaking first rocket going, and then we'll have to expand as of this point. Alright guys, I think we are ready for the big finale. Hopefully this is the train. Yes, it is the train. Ah, so wonderful. This is the last... No, it's not the train. Oh man, I was so sure this was the train. Okay, well, then I'm just gonna force it to finally come to this station. We should have more than enough radars. Come on, boots, 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 boots. You can do it. No, that's the wrong one. Well, we can use that too. Those were the processing units. Ah, there it is, waiting in line. Come on, I wanna finally see this rocket going. Yes, this is the train. This is the freaking train. Thank you. This is a glorious moment. We're gonna produce our first satellite. Okay, there we go. It actually loaded up one satellite. So we can now launch this rocket, hopefully. Yes. And we should be getting back the first white science packs, which will be freaking amazing. Man. And now we will actually be seeing a lot of these starts, hopefully, in the future. And just like that, everything keeps going. and we get the science packs. So now we can set this to auto launch and we just need to extract the science packs. Let's do that maybe here. I'm not sure if that is going to be enough. We now want to go ahead, bring these guys over here. Wait. No. I want you to move over there and into a balancer, I guess. So balancer goes right there and you go right here. Wonderful. This is absolutely phenomenal. Access to the white side. Let me actually check the science. What can we do now? How much do we even need? 1000 science packs for this first research. So we could already do one of those. But I'm mostly interested in upgrading my robots and such. Well, I guess what we have to do the next time is make a more efficient system. We also have to copy over more things. I, for instance, need way more... What is happening? Oh, wait. Another rocket is already ready. Is it... Wait, did it auto-launch? No, it did. Oh, this is great. Oh my gosh, we're gonna do so much research the next time. This is absolutely amazing. Yeah, we'll just have to see. Maybe we need a couple more rocket silos in order to use up our materials, but so far so good, I would say. At least things are going for it, and now we already have 2000 white science packs, so this is going quick. That means the next time we need to set up the science lab, ship all the science packs over, and we're gonna go on a research spree. Really looking forward to this. So I think with that out of the way, we are gonna do one more rocket launch. Looks like we could use faster inserters here. So you're also gonna become stack inserters. Should be good. It's still a little bit slow with the rocket control units, but we're almost there with a third rocket launch. I'm so happy, guys. This is a true milestone we've just reached. I did not expect the rockets to be this quick. There it is. Already another start. Ah, this is great. And we're gonna load up a satellite and ready for launch. It's already launched. Woo! Amazing! This is actually also a surprisingly nice animation for this 2D game. I feel great, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it. Have a great time and see you in the next one. Bye bye.